Hi, Cubs. I got a comment that I'd like to talk about today. This is going to be a more casual talk than my story-oriented audios, but I think it's a really important conversation that we have to have. A Cub commented that they feel it's hard to accept their ADHD. They see it more as a limitation, and they're not really having a lot of success because they have a very low self-efficacy. Basically, they're just not feeling confident in their ADHD and they really don't know how to use it properly, is what I'm understanding. I may be wrong. But I think this is a big dividing path that a lot of people with ADHD fall into. We have a very binary mind. Either we do things 100% or we don't do it at all, right? Either we vacuum the whole house, mop and clean every single corner, or we do nothing at all, right? And this is, translated into how we think about our ADHD. We think about it either as a superpower or as a limitation to our life. Now, I fervently believe that accommodations help you get rid of the negative parts of your ADHD, and they allow you to focus on your ADHD and use it as a superpower. If we think about the ADHD mind as a Bugatti, a supercar, these very fast supercars are very low to the ground. So if there's a speed bump, meaning limitation, if we go over it, first of all, it's going to slow us down. It's going to scrape the bumper. It's going to scrape the bottom of the car. It's going to slow us down a lot. But if we use accommodations and get rid of the speed bumps, we can go really fast. And we can achieve goals that are not even fathomable, if that's the word, fathomable, to the non-ADHD people. We can be really successful with accommodations. Now, I recommend this to everybody. If you believe you have ADHD, get tested. There are grants. I know in the government of Canada, there are grants that will help you get tested basically for free. You have to go to your doctor first, and I can leave some more information in the description box if you guys are interested, or I'll make another video about that if you'd like. But check out your local governments or even your local college or high school to see if you can get it for free, because I believe at local high schools you can get ADHD testing for free if you follow their criteria or whatever. Sorry, getting back into it. So low self-efficacy, I believe, is simply your brain being overworked by things that it doesn't want to do. I remember in high school, I had very low self-efficacy because I hated how restrictive the learning was, how we had to sit in class for about an hour and a half in a very dull environment, and it was just a terrible learning experience. I had a horrible time in high school. Now, in college, I realized that I had ADHD, I got tested, and I got accommodations, and those accommodations have really helped. Now, whether you have ADHD or not, you can still get accommodations. You can ask your professor, hey professor, can you do X, Y, Z? Just by figuring out what you need, or even if you don't know what you need, you can ask your professors, hey, I'm struggling with this. Do you have any advice for maybe taking notes or any other way to learn? That can really, really help you. And the professors really know best. If you have good professors, they're going to help you as much as they can. Now, another thing that this cub mentioned is the binary thinking, especially with perfectionism. And it leads to a lot of avoidance of not even doing anything at all. And again, this is how our brain works. This is how the ADHD brain works. It's very binary. And I think it's important to just do it. Just if it takes less than 2 minutes, if a task takes less than 2 minutes, you do it immediately. Because usually I'll forget, and ever since I've implemented this rule, it makes forgetting things a lot harder. All right, I'll be working out and I'll think, oh, I have to buy this, I have to buy garlic because we ran out of garlic, and I'll put it in my phone. I'll put it in my to-do list. All right, whatever it may be. If it's less than 2 minutes, just do it immediately. And that'll sort of start the snowball throughout the day and throughout the week. And once you kind of start doing more and more things, your brain gets used to it, and then your brain wants to keep doing that. It keeps wanting to roll the snowball bigger and bigger and bigger. And that will allow you to start bigger and bigger projects, right? If you're feeling fearful of a big project and you're sort of paralyzed by it, I know I've felt that a lot. By starting to do some smaller things, even if they're not related to schoolwork, even if they're not related in any domain to what you want to do, to whatever this big project is, just starting to do smaller tasks will help you, whether it's throughout the day or throughout the week. Going back to sort of those accommodations can be in your own life. For me, I know that a lot of times I will spend a lot of time thinking about what to have for lunch or dinner, and I'll feel paralyzed by the choices that I have. And sometimes I just won't be able to think about it, right? Because for us ADHD folk, if it's not right in front of us, it doesn't exist. So there may be something in the back of the pantry or something sort of hidden somewhere, like taco shells that I could make tacos with, but because I can't see it, it doesn't exist to me. So I have started to write down the foods that I regularly cook, that I know how to cook, that are easy for me. Putting it up in pieces of paper and then putting it in a bowl. And then every day, if I want dinner, I just fish around the bowl. I pick something out. If I have the materials for that, let's say I want to make nachos. If I have everything for nachos, I'm going to make nachos. If I have everything for whatever other thing that I picked out, I'll make that. If I don't, then I'll just pick something else out. And then I'm going to stick to that. All right? Because you just have to create those sort of accommodations for yourself at home, right? If you feel like you waste a lot of time working out, like I do, I feel like working out is a waste of time, but I still need to. I'll often listen to audiobooks because that keeps me stimulated. That keeps my head in the game while I'm working out. And it also allows me to listen better because I'm stimulated on both ends. I'm listening to something and I'm processing the information, but I'm also sort of on the side thinking about how many reps I'm doing, right? I'm thinking about what other exercise I'm doing. And I can slow down. If I want to listen to a part of, this talk or this audiobook on my phone, I'll wait for a minute and I'll listen to, the paragraph. And then I'll get back to working out. Or if I feel like I really want to pump, another 2 reps out, just quickly blast them out, I'll put it on mute or I'll put it on pause, and I'll just quickly do them. It's all about creating those accommodations for yourself and figuring out what you need. And that's probably going to be the hardest part, is just figuring out what you need and what can benefit you. And the only way to do that is just by starting. Just by figuring out those accommodations, figuring out what will make your life easier. All right, Cubs. I really appreciate you watching. Love you. Stay safe. And have a wonderful, wonderful day.